Southwest of Sandy Shores lies the small town known as Harmony, a town impacted by gangs and violence that lies beneath its surface. Harmony is divided into two sections, the west and the east sides. The western side of the town is more residential and contains a large trailer park along with the pharmacy. The eastern side of Harmony is meant for businesses and commerce. The town's main road is Route 68. This is where most of the local businesses are situated. The road begins at Bolingbroke Penitentiary and the satellite dishes and goes through the town of Harmony all the way to the Hill Valley Church and further west. Route 68 seems to be based on real-life highways such as California State Route 86, which runs west of Salton Sea, and elements of the historic US Route 66, particularly its desert stretches. When driving through the town, the first thing you will notice is Larry's RV Sales. Larry's RV Sales is a used motorhome dealership located at 2024 Route 68. Their main business is selling second-hand RVs and camper vans. Customers can trade in their old vehicles towards the purchase of another RV. The company's tagline is proudly serving Sandy Shores since 1971, as seen over the dealership. Near the abandoned gas station in the Grand Sonora Desert, a billboard advertising the dealership can be found. As stated on the sign, the company's caravans provide a tiny stub and a minuscule toilet, and a holding tank which holds 400 gallons of feces. A security guard patrols the lot at night after closing, sometimes accompanied by a dog. The business is also featured in a humorous radio commercial which sarcastically promotes their RVs.
Travel around the country in style in a recreational vehicle from Larry's used RV sale. A minuscule toilet and a shower that's like a dog pissing on you.
In front of Larry's RV is the local gas station, the Route 68 store. As all other gas stations in the game, the gas station is partnered with Globe Oil, which offers self-serve gas filling for the residents and tourists driving by the town. Harmony heavily relies on the oil business, with the town being one of the main suppliers of oil in San Andreas. But something even more interesting is that there is a Fleeca bank in Harmony where the residents can take out their mortgage. Interestingly enough, this is one of 7 banks that Fleeca owns across San Andreas, which honestly surprised me. The bank is in the same building as a discount store and a Scoop's liquor barn. Scoop's Liquor is a privately owned liquor store, possibly owned by a man named Scoop. It shares the same interior as other liquor stores, like Rob's Liquor in Los Santos. Behind the gas station, a Los Santos Custom is situated. Franklin can purchase the Los Santos Custom garage, which allows him to get all vehicle modifications for free. Not much is known about the residents of the town. The most notable is Griff, a very strong patriot of Los Santos that often bashes immigrants in Canada.
America is for the Americans. When my grandparents came here from Norway and Ireland and the Ukraine, they didn't imagine they'd have to share the place with Mexicans or anyone else for that matter. It just ain't right.
Another notable character connected to the area is the altarist called Victim, a young American woman who appears in the random event Rogue Altruists. She lives on Sonora Road near the Redwood Lights track.
So what the hell was that? Who were those guys?
I've no idea. I was just talking to a friend on my cell phone when I heard them behind me, yelling about the Industrial Revolution and the internet. At first I thought, oh, a couple of senile old-timers must have wandered out of the nursing home. So I'm like, did you get lost? Is there anyone I can call? Then they start really shouting at me how I'm dead wood, that I've failed as a generation.
Next to Ellis Custom is a place that very few people have talked about, but should have been talked about more. I'm talking about the Motor Motel. The motel itself is very simple, consisting of only one building, housing 12 rooms, in a shallow U-shape. None of these can be accessed. A convicted prisoner going by the name of Jack Howitzer once lived in this motel. After being released from the Bolingbroke Penitentiary, he moved in to room 8 in the motel. And as most probably can figure out, this was a big mistake.
Jack's back!
Despite being released from prison, Yak didn't learn his lesson. He was hungry for more blood. He killed his previous agent just inside the door, and the bloodstain remains to this day on the wall. He also slaughtered a prostitute in the chair by the bed. Yak later hired a new agent going by the name of Rufus Bellows.
I'm Rufus Bellows. I just signed Jack as a client. This is our first big meeting. I know a guy that can clean that up for you. Total DNA removal.
Quick interruption. This video is sponsored by Grand RP. Grand RP is one of the biggest RP servers out there, with unlimited unique features to play around with. Compared to many other servers, Grand RP just feels real. The server is always packed with people, with no lag at all, and players playing at all times, even at night. The server features a realistic economy, with realistic cars, houses, and even unique interiors. You can either choose to live a simple life, working as an electrician or a taxi driver, or you can be a bank robber. There is also a roulette system that you can play to earn gifts. You can start playing absolutely free in just a couple of minutes. Just follow the link in the description, register on the website, and create your own character. If you register through the website, you'll immediately receive one of 3 premium cars to choose from. What makes Grand RP so good is that it is open for everyone to enjoy, meaning you could play it with whoever you want, your friend, your brother, or even your dad. Grand RP can be played on both the standard version of GTA 5 and the enhanced edition with improved graphics and effects. In addition, you can get an extra car for 50 hours of play. And if you haven't visited the server in a while, now is a great opportunity to come back and claim your comeback car. Join one of the top GTA 5 RP servers, Grand RP, and get a free $25,000 and choose one of the free luxury cars in the game for registering with my link. Thanks Grand RP for sponsoring today's video. The new agent found a woman on the chair, in which Yak responded,
What's with Crystal's see-through slippers in the chair here? She dead?
She's meditating.
Rufus organizes a forensic clean of the room, but it doesn't actually improve it.
He's hoarding urine in there. You saw it. He's talking to a sock puppet. He's got these patriotic delusions of grandeur. He's gonna be a gold mine. You smell that?
It is possible that the motel was used by the bittersweet co-founder before the protagonist assassinates him in one of the payphone hits. In the center of the town, a cafe is located, which is also a gas station. Interestingly enough, the cafe only allows Fleeka credit cards and no checks, suggesting that there's a lot of check fraud going on in this region. Outside the cafe, a newspaper box can be seen, displaying the newspaper of Johnny Klebitz. This is the same newspaper that can be found near the lighthouse on the Cayo Perico island. Compared to the other towns like Grapeseed, Harmony seems to do well for itself, despite only having a few businesses. Route 68 appears to be a very trafficked road, which gives plenty of opportunities for the businesses to expand. Like Grapeseed and many other towns, Harmony also suffers from crime, though not as significant. The western side of Harmony mostly consists of houses and trailers, with only a few businesses and tourist stops, one of them being a commercial center with stores like Animal Ark, Taco Farmer, Suburban, and Dollar Pills. Dollar Pills is a pharmacy, grocery, and drugstore chain in San Andreas. It sells medicine, drinks, cigarettes, beer, and even has a 24-hour photo service. In the game, the player can even buy stocks from the company through the LCN exchange. The name Dollar Pills is a joke on dollar bill, and its logo looks very close to real-life discount stores like Family Dollar or Dollar Tree. However, the building design itself seems to be inspired by Rite Aid, especially the older stores from the 90s. Taco Farmer is a Mexican-style fast food chain that can be found across San Andreas, including here in Harmony. The restaurant sells tacos, burritos, and much more. Signs outside the building says that it's open all hours, making it a common stop for both locals and travelers driving through on Route 68. Their main competitors are other Mexican fast food chains like Taco Bomb, but its design and menu show that it's mostly based on the real-life restaurant Del Taco. Having Taco Farmer in Harmony adds another quick food option for the town, especially since Route 68 is always busy with traffic. It also shows how even a small desert town can attract large chain businesses. The town in general appears to be very patriotic, similar to the other towns in the Blaine County region, with American flags hanging over the houses, and hate towards the socialists. Capitalistic billboards can be seen around the city, with one saying, "Misfortune need to cost a fortune," hinting at the return of investments on properties. Another states that global warming is just nonsense, and there's also a billboard referencing In-N-Out, with the slogan, "Food from when we are morally superior," making fun of how fast food chains sell nostalgia by pretending the past was better. In front of the commercial center there's a liquor junior market, which is entirely based on the real-life Mojave Liquor and Junior Market, located on Sierra Highway in California. Besides it is a 24/7 store, GTA 5's own version of 7-Eleven. Interestingly enough, the other half of the building is being rented out. The place appears to have been rented out numerous times by the bikers, who uses the local as a stash house, driving more criminals to Harmony. The west side of Harmony connects the Senora Road and Joshua Road to Route 68. Here is where most of the crime seems to happen, near the trailer park and row houses. The row houses are being used as stash houses by different gangs, leading to a lot of gang violence, as suggested by the police presence in the area. The Stoner Cement Works play a big role in the town's survival. It provides both job opportunities for the residents and leads to people moving to the town to get jobs at the cement work. The company was established in 1952 and produces cement at 2 locations in Blaine County, one of them being in Harmony. Several shipping containers are stored inside the plant, along with brute trailers carrying wooden crates and cardboard boxes. While Harmony seems like a quiet desert town, the west side tells a very different story. Here, gang and crime activity are deeply rooted into the daily life. The row houses and trailer park on the west side aren't just homes, they're used by biker gangs as stash houses. This has led to frequent gang violence, attracting the attention of the local police and creating a tense, dangerous atmosphere for the residents. Harmony may seem like a quiet desert town, but beneath its surface lies a mix of commerce and chaos. Route 68 connects local businesses and draws travelers, while the west side hides gang activity, stash houses, and occasional violence. Despite its challenges, the town thrives on industries like oil and cement, and its unique characters and stories make Harmony a memorable living part of San Andreas. Less than a mile northwest from Los Santos lies the small coastal town known as Chumash, a town famously known for tourism, surfing, and even connections to terrorists. This is the story of Chumash, the town you probably ignored. The main street is the section of the Great Ocean Highway, also known as US Route 1, or the Western Highway that runs alongside the town. US Route 1 is a major coastal highway in San Andreas that travel along the western and northern coastlines of the state. The route begins at Interstate 2 in Del Perro, continues northwest along Del Perro Beach, and narrows into 2-lane roads as it approaches Chumash. The Great Ocean Highway is based on California's state Route 1, the Pacific Coast Highway, mirroring its coastal path and beautiful ocean view. The Inneseno Road is the main street of the south side of the town. This part appears to be more expensive because it is closer to Los Santos. A lot of houses in this area are in foreclosure, and fewer people appear to visit this part of the town, mostly because of its lack of businesses, with only a small 24/7, a cleaning business, a beauty salon, and a Mom's Pie dinner. Mom's Pie dinner is open between the hours of 6 and 2 AM and appears to share the same parking lot as the 24/7. Despite Chumash being a relatively small coastal community, it is home to a few notable characters like Tahir Yavin, an Azerbaijani American businessman who made his fortune in the green energy sector. Born in Azerbaijan, Yavan moved to the USA at the age of 13 and eventually settled in Chumash, where he owned a beachfront home on the Inneseno Road. He was known for funding education initiatives both in the US and Azerbaijan. Despite this, he was suspected by both the IAA and FIB for having links to terrorist organizations conversations. He appears as a minor character and is assassinated during the mission by the book.
Partygoers at a house in Chumash were horrified when a guest was killed seemingly by a sniper's bullet. Tahir Javan was smoking on an outside terrace when he was gunned down. Police are baffled as to why this much-loved Azerbaijani American, who was a noted philanthropist and community leader, would be targeted.
On the other side of the Great Ocean Highway, a Rob's Liquor is situated along with a souvenir store and Hang 10. Hang 10 is a diner and surfer shop located between Rob's Liquor and the souvenir store. The two-story building combines a beachside grill, ground floor, with a surf rental shop above, complete with outdoor seating and ocean views. Locals and surfers often hang out near the benches during the day, adding to the area's relaxed coastal vibe. Interestingly, Hang 10 also shares its name with the mission where Trevor kills Floyd and Deborah, a darkly ironic link between the chill surf spot and one of the game's most violent moments. The real-world inspiration for Hang 10 is believed to be the Fish Grill Surf Shack on the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu, California, which closed in 2022. Besides the souvenir shop is a Fleeca bank, which is one of two banks in the town. This is also the same bank that we robbed during the Fleeca score in GTA Online. Along the highway is a neighborhood of luxury beach houses, but just as most of the houses, a bunch of them appear to be on sale. This may be because of how expensive the area really is, or that this part of San Andreas is getting less popular and people are moving for unknown reasons. Chumash Plaza is a shopping center located along Route 1 in Chumash. The plaza is developed as a single unit and features a large parking lot out front, often filled with local traffic. Here is where most of the town's businesses are located, one of them being the Davis Hardware. The store was established in 1954 and owned by B. Davids. Davids Hardware offers household hardware and supplies for home improvement, including hand tools, plumbing and electrical equipment. It is not accessible to the player and does not play a role in the storyline. The building's architecture, established date and ownership are identical to Bay Hardware in Paleto Bay, suggesting a connection between the two. The rear entrance to Davis Hardware appears to be used by the Armenian mob as a stash house, giving further questions to the store's involvement with the criminal underworld. This store also appears to serve as a potential stop for taxes. Next to the Suburban is also a Ink Tattoos. The chain has two known locations across Los Santos, with the Chumash Plaza branch being accessible to the player. Spider is a tattoo artist employed by the business. Before the Life Invader website was taken offline, players could stalk them there to get their first tattoo for free. Ink appears to be inspired by High Voltage Tattoo, the real-life tattoo parlor featured in the TV series LA Ink. In the back area of the plaza, players can also find a health pack, making it a useful stop for exploration or preparation before heading into the surrounding hills or coastline. An RDS pharmacy is also situated on the plaza. Interestingly enough, a couple of notes can be found at the main entrance. One of them involves a lost turtle going by the name of Anthony. Another promotes the grand opening of Los Santos frozen meat, but even more interesting is an ad from Stevie advertising his penis-length business and a lost. Other than that, a Go Postal is situated there, a company that is based on FedEx Express. The company's name, as well as the service they provide, is a reference to the term going postal, which is a slang for somebody who has gone into a psychotic rage. This is further emphasized by the company's tagline, "We aim not to lose it." The Blaine County Savings Bank serves as the town's main bank. Here is where most of the town's residents take their loans and withdraw cash. The chain has a few banks across San Andreas and Blaine County, most notably the one located in Paleto Bay, which we robbed during the Paleto score. Chumash Plaza is inspired by the real-world location, Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu. The Go Postal building is likely based on La Costa Malibu Post Office, found in a similar shopping center along the same stretch of road. The plaza serves as the economic and social heart of the small coastal town. While most of Chumash feels quiet and residential, it brings life to the area through its mix of local shops and essential services. Each storefront adds a layer of personality to this otherwise overlooked community. Barbarino Road is a small two-way residential street located in the heart of Chumash. It begins and ends at Route 1. According to the local signage, the speed limit is 25 miles per hour, reflecting the quiet suburban atmosphere of the area. This road gives direct access to the Chumash historic family pier and features a few small coastal homes and local businesses. Despite only having a small amount of beach houses, the streets are filled with parked cars visiting the town. Interestingly, the name Barbarino has historical roots. It refers to an extinct Chumashan language, once spoken in Santa Barbara. The other main residential street in Chumash, Ineseno Road, is also named after a dialect of the same language family. The Chumash Historic Family Pier is located in the heart of Chumash, which is accessible from the Barbarino Road. The boardwalk is lined with white fencing. At the end of the pier is the Barracuda Cafe, a seafood restaurant and bar. Residents can be observed watching the ocean, and seagulls may be spotted resting on the pier. Overall, not much is going on the pier. It appears to be a close rendition of Malibu Pier in Malibu, California. Chumash may not be as flashy or chaotic as Los Santos, but that's exactly what makes it special. Its coastal scenery, quiet street, and hidden stories make it one of GTA 5's most authentic and underappreciated towns. Whether you're stopping by for a quick tattoo, a high setup, or just to enjoy the view, Chumash stands as a reminder that even the smallest corners of San Andreas are rich with detail, waiting to be explored by those who take the time to look. Northeast of Sandy Shores lies a small countryside town called Grapeseed, a mysterious town filled with redneck meth cookers. The name is inspired after the town Grapevine in California, a small town known for its agriculture. Some fans argue it could also be inspired by the Salinas Valley, Central Valley, or even Imperial Valley, all farming regions in California. Grapeseed seems to be influenced by all these places. Despite its lack of residents, Grapeseed is often referred to as the industrial heart of the Alamo Sea. Whether this is because of how old the town is or because they run the drug manufacturing in Blaine County is unknown. Grapeseed is a farming town dedicated to providing San Andreas with its food. Most of the town consists of large crop fields, barns and ranches. The town is mostly considered as a ghost town, with the two main roads, Grapeseed Avenue and Joshua Road, being completely empty, with nearly no traffic or people. It seems like the town suffers from a declining population. Why are businesses being shut down? Residents are moving, and even worse, houses are not being sold. This is the story of Grapeseed, the forgotten town. Grapeseed's economy has always been dangerously dependent on its farmland, with little space for homes or businesses. Nearly all of its growth relied on harvest. At one point, the Alamo Sea served as the main water source for the fields, but as the water became polluted over time, harvest quality declined and production fell. No backup system was ever built to bring in fresh water from the ocean, leaving Grapeseed's farmer with few options. This environmental decline may be one of the main reasons behind the town's collapse. In real California, the Imperial Valley and Central Valley also depends heavily on irrigation. Some towns even have private airstrips for spraying fields with chemicals, just like Grapeseed. Rockstar took inspiration from this real-world farming crisis to shape the town's downfall. While many residents are simple farmers, Grapeseed is also home to the O'Neill brothers, an inbreed gang of hillbillies. The O'Neill brothers distribute and run the drug trade in Grapeseed and is one of the biggest drug manufacturers in the state of San Andreas, operating out of a large ranch on the O'Neill Way. The road is most likely named after the family. It is said that the workers in Grapeseed make amphetamine and distribute it, as many of the plants seem to be cannabis. Outside of the O'Neills, much of the farmland today stands abandoned or even up for sale. What remains are spread out animal farms, cows and chickens, since farm animals are less dependent on seasonal crops. This change shows how Grapeseed's farming culture has been forced to adapt in order to survive. In GTA missions, locals speak with strong country Californian accents and often complain about the lack of support for the farmers.
I hate getting up early in the morning for work.
Oh yeah!
What if my wife replaces me at my job? That is degrading.
No doubt! These gringos don't know what work is!
Ya lo sé.
further showing the small town farming identity Rockstar wanted to capture. Most residents of the town are pretty much unknown. Maud Eccles is a resident of Grapeseed.
Take this poor wretch, on the run, desperate, alone, about to learn the true meaning of suffering, all for a few $1,000. Think you can find him for me?
Every man has his talents, Maud, and the rigorous administration of justice is, it's one of mine.
She lives in a trailer at the end of East Joshua Road, but even Maud seems to have a problem with the town, as she moved her business and opened the Bottom Dollar Bail Enforcement Agency office in southern San Andreas. The people who live in Grapeseed don't seem to be happy with the current state of the town. But why? It's most likely that the O'Neill brothers' meth business scared most of the farmers away. The O'Neill brothers put Grapeseed on the map for criminal activity, leading to gang warfare. West of the Mackenzie airfield, the bikers established a safe house as a way of cutting the O'Neill supplies. The conflict between the bikers and O'Neills has most likely led to a lot of businesses shutting down, as the bikers cut the food and drug supplies that come out of Grapeseed. This may also be the reason why the Mackenzie field was out on sale. The bikers scared away the staff working at the airfield, leading to the Vapid Motor Company having to sell it to Trevor Phillips. GT Online missions also tie the Mackenzie airfield to illegal smuggling routes, reflecting real smuggling history in California's Imperial and Coachella valleys. Grapeseed, being far away from other towns, also made it attractive to smugglers. The small airfield nearby became a temporary stop for running illegal goods, with only a single hangar and a trailer serving as infrastructure. Over time, this turned Grapeseed into a smaller version of Sandy Shores, just as broken but on a smaller scale. With businesses closing and families moving away, Grapeseed's housing market has collapsed. Homes sit unsold for months and prices are far below Los Santos standards. For example, 2 properties near Grapeseed Avenue can be purchased by the online protagonist through Dynasty 8 Real Estate for just $118,000. Grapeseed Avenue serves as the town's main street and business center, though today it feels nearly abandoned. A supermarket, gas station, and paint shop remain, along with a discount clothing store. Beyond that, little economic life is left in town. Not much is going on this street. Just outside of town sits a small aging factory with the branding Galileo Park. Oddly, the company name suggests that the workforce doesn't come from Grapeseed, and ownership likely come from elsewhere. In real life Central Valley towns, you'll find almost the same silos, barns, and roadside gas stations, which makes Grapeseed's strange emptiness feel that more realistic. Despite the decay, not everything about Grapeseed has fallen apart. A small fishing village nearby, complete with a boat shop and fishery, reportedly owned by someone named Miller, remains largely unaffected. Meanwhile, certain houses outside of Grapeseed grow suspicious plants, with at least one property confirmed to be the site of a drug deal during Trevor's Series A funding heist.
So, Trevor, there is the money? Hand me the cocaine first.
What?
The cocaine you are selling me.
Excuse me?
Are you selling me cocaine, Mr. Phillips?
Others, however, grow legitimate produce, such as pumpkins and cabbages, showing the strange contrast of legal and illegal farming in the same area. Grapeseed stands out as one of San Andreas' strangest contradictions. Once imagined as the industrial heart of the Alamo Sea, it's not more than a little decaying farming community haunted by crime, pollution, and abandonment. Its fields feed the state, yet the name is more often tied to meth than corn. Rockstar built Grapeseed to feel familiar, taking inspiration from real farming towns across California, while also making it strangely empty. It's not just a forgotten town in-game, but also a reminder of how whole communities can fade away when crime is high and businesses shut down. In the end, Grapeseed isn't remembered for its harvest, its silos, or its hard-working farmers. It's remembered as a ghost town, a great town that had the potential of becoming something big, but instead was consumed by crime. This is the story of the forgotten town, Grapeseed. Far, far north in the quiet forests of San Andreas lies the small, independent town we know as Paleto Bay. The town's main street is the Great Ocean Highway and Paleto Boulevard. This is where most of the businesses, the industrial and public buildings are located. At the intersection of the Paleto Boulevard and the Great Ocean Highway, the sheriff's office is located. It serves as the primary law enforcement facility for Blaine County, operating under the Los Santos County Sheriff's Department. This station handles police activity across Paleto Bay and the surrounding northern regions of San Andreas. A small sign west of the building humorously reads, "The Paleto Bay Sheriff's Office has successfully managed 35 days without a narcotics arrest." One of many examples of Rockstar's satirical touches. The station's design draws heavy inspiration from the Fillmore Police Department in Ventura County, California, a nod to Rockstar's realistic approach to replacing Southern California's small-town architecture and law enforcement facilities. In real life, Paleto Bay is most likely based on towns along California's central coast. Its layout and coastal rock formation closely resembles Morro Bay, while the surrounding forests and cooler climate suggest influence from Crescent City in northern California, so somewhere between Monterey and Crescent City on the real-world west coast. The Paleto Bay Fire Station is the largest rural fire station in San Andreas, operated by the Los Santos Fire Department. It provides coverage for Paleto Bay and the surrounding countryside. Around the back there's a training tower, which in story mode contains a collectible spaceship part. In GD Online, a radio antenna can also be found here. The sign above the main entrance read Fire Station Number 1, Blaine County, suggesting that Blaine County operates its own division within the LSFD network. Between the sheriff's office and the police station is Paleto Bay's market, an old plaza consisting of a liquor store and a market. The two businesses share the same parking lot. Behind the market is an ammunition store specializing in hunting and surviving equipment. The town's industries are mostly besides the train track, which is where they export all the goods. The Cluck and Bell fast chain operates a large chicken processing plant here. Cluck and Bell Farms is the place where the meat sold at the Cluck and Bell fast food restaurants is raised and processed. It was established in 1917. There are indications on the site that part of it was built in 1921 and was originally known as Bell Farms, after the Bell family. The facility occupies the entire eastern side of the highway in Paleto Bay and the space between the road and the railway line. There is also a building on the western side of the highway, on the corner of Pyrite Avenue, opposite the Dreamview Motel, which also provides staff car parking spaces. There is also a large sculpture of a chicken sitting atop a bell at the front of the complex, replicating the company logo. It is a possible reference to the world's largest cock in GD San Andreas, a large landmark resembling a giant chicken. In 2024, a Latin American drug cartel began operating in the factory after paying the staff, using the building as a cover for drug manufacturing. Roy Buckley was the mayor of Paleto Bay in 2013. In light of several news articles, he is known to be very defensive of Blaine County and his town. He is mentioned during a Weasel News radio broadcast where he commented on worker discrimination in rural businesses.
Blaine County was one of 3 regions nationwide singled out as a potential target for money laundering, as drug dealers focus on small regional banks with weaker systems of control. Roy Buckley, mayor of Paleto Bay, accused the Bureau of typical discrimination against successful rural businesses.
On the other side of the Great Ocean Highway, Yankton has an office, a shipping company which likely works close with the town's export through the railway. Besides it is a Helmut's European Autos. According to their sign, they are imported vehicle specialists primarily for BF. The front of the store appears to have been damaged, with paint stains a wooden panel, replacing some broken windows, and paint saying Buy America and Buy US. The store has likely been vandalized as a result of a nationalist attack. The Pyrite Avenue is a two-way street connecting the Great Ocean Highway and Paleto Boulevard. Here is where the Dreamview Motel is located, a 24-hour motel with working air conditioning and a cable TV. The motel appears to serve as a center for the criminal underworld, with gangs smoking and hanging around the area. It's most likely that this is used as a drop-off point for drugs. The east side of the town mostly consists of agriculture, where everything from apples and berries are grown. A big portion of the town's economy depends on its farmers. The company in charge of the food production is American Growers, a company that appears to cooperate with Zancudo grain growers. It takes up a majority of the workforce and gives jobs to the residents and even people living outside of Paleto Bay. The Paleto Bay rest stop is located next to the town's farmland. Here there is a Ron's gas station, which if you already didn't know is Rockstar's way of mocking Ron Yakovsky. There is also a Don's County and a Dollar Pills, a pharmacy store that implied by the name refers to taking a big amount of pills, particularly drugs. The Great Ocean Highway is Paleto Bay's most important road. It's through it that companies can transport their goods and products to Los Santos and other towns. This along with the railway, which is a more effective way of transporting the products. The Paleto Boulevard is technically the main street of Paleto Bay, as this, along with the Great Ocean Highway, are the two most influential roads. It has everything from local businesses, bars and nightclubs. Even more importantly, a post-OP depot. The company appears as one of the main postal services in San Andreas. The player can buy stocks from them on the LCN exchange. They appear to be a clear parody based on the United Parcel Service. This is further referenced in the game files, where the character models are named UPS-1 and UPS-2. Across the street from the post-OP depot is the St. Brigid Baptist Church. Little information is known about the church, other than the fact that its reverend is called R. Goodfellow, and the notice board outside the church states that it's closed on Sundays. The church bell chimes every hour, even though the church itself does not have a clock. The church is most likely based on the Pero United Methodist Church. It is very similar in design to the Hill Valley Church network, which is also based on the same building. The name of the church is also located on the Hill Valley churches in Great Chaparral and Pacific Bluffs. Dualas Avenue begins through the Great Ocean Highway, goes across Paleto Boulevard and ends at Procopio Drive. The Hen House nightclub is an old nightclub that can be purchased. It's the cheapest purchasable business in story mode, which also makes it the least profitable. It generates a weekly income of only $920 and can't be entered. It is based on El Reventon nightclub in Lamont, California. The Baycare Center is located here, the main medical center in Paleto Bay. It's heavily based on the medical offices at 533 Thesby Avenue in Fillmore. Red's Machine Supplies is the pickup salvage yard that we fight through in the Paleto score. The font used for the sign is called Chinese Rocks, which is Red Dead Redemption's official font, making an obvious Easter egg between the Red Machine Supplies and the game that we all love. The Blaine County Savings Bank serves as the town's main bank. The Paleto Bay branch is used by the Los Santos County Sheriff's Department to hold funds received from bribery, extortion, and general corruption.
If you're taking down a bank for a few million, first thing you do is call the hospital, tell them to get you a guy in a wheelchair.
Oh, this hayseed bank, you gonna be carrying that kind of change?
Local law enforcement extort money from all the weed farms, houses, and kitchens in the area. They keep their cash in safe deposit boxes. Then there's all the normal small-town payroll stuff.
At the time of the Paleto score, this branch hold a minimum of $8 million. Cascabel Avenue is the street outside of the bank. The street connects Paleto Boulevard with the Procopio Drive. In front of the bank, there is a closed courtyard block called the South Seas Apartment. Unfortunately, the building and pool was destroyed during the Paleto score. Interestingly, it's also revealed that Ashley Butler was found dead in these apartments as she died of an overdose.
Police responding to neighbors' complaints found 5 rotting corpses in a condo in Paleto Bay up in Blaine County. The 4 men and 1 woman were apparently involved in a and drugs that went badly wrong. The woman, Ashley Butler from Alderney, and 4 local men ranging in ages from 53 to 85 all had histories of drug and legal problems.
A Willys supermarket is located on Procopio Drive. The business has a wide variety of products such as grocery items, pharmacy products and firearms. Posters in the window advertise products available within the pharmacy such as Horn deodorant, Lax to the Max laxatives, Alco Patch and Redwood cigarettes. While not many residents of the town are known, a guy going by the name of Bill Binder stands out Willie's supermarket. He often yaps about economic conspiracies and how they are destroying the American economy.
Financial results! The value of your investment will change, I promise you that. Dollars are just paper. Gold is for the Aztecs. Stocks? Have you ever met a CEO you didn't want to set on fire? Real estate is for fools. I'm offering investment advice that will save your family.
To the point where he believes it will collapse in 2014, revised from his original prediction of 2012. Most of his statements appear to be a sales pitch aimed at getting contributions to his pyramid scheme, the Binder New World Wealth System, through his website. On his website he claims to have buried Yuan in Arizona and injured a greedy young boy. The 0232 Paleto Boulevard is a safe house featured in the Independence Day special for GD Online, located just besides the Willys. It is currently the northernmost purchasable safe house in San Andreas, being slightly further north than the two nearby safe houses on Procopio Drive. It is available for purchase through Dynasty 8 Real Estate for $121,000 and includes a 2-car garage. While there are a lot of businesses and life on Paleto Boulevard, some businesses are still under construction. East of the road there is an area that still is under construction but should have been done in 2008. It is likely that this project was delayed or abandoned because of the 2008 house crisis, showing how the crisis even impacted a small town like Paleto Bay. Procopio Drive is the road south of the town. This is the street where most of the residents live. 2 purchasable homes can be bought by the online protagonist here. One of them being the 4004 1 Procopio Drive. It is available for purchase through Dynasty 8's website for $165,000 and includes a 6-car garage. The other one is 4584 Procopio Drive, which can be purchased for $155,000 and also include a 6-car garage. Compared to many other towns, Paleto Bay seems to have survived well from the 2008 house crisis, with only a few homes being on sale. Despite having the odds against them, the town seems to have survived through its hard-working industry and managed to keep the town's economy intact. The small houses and quiet atmosphere make it feel peaceful and friendly, very different from the busy city of Los Santos. Outside of the town, not much is going on. There is a diner in the Paleto Forest, a road going by the name of the Procopio Promenade that passes through the Paleto Forest and runs along Procopio Beach. The beach of Paleto Bay appears not to be so popular and is mostly empty. Paleto Bay may not be as fancy as Winewood or Los Santos, but that's exactly what makes it one of the most underrated towns. It's small, quiet, but full of character and life. From the busy Great Ocean Highway to the farms on the east side, every part of it tells a story of hard work and resilience. Despite its size, the town has its own hard-working industries, crime and nightclubs that make it feel alive. Northwest of Los Santos lies the quiet and snowy town known as Ludendorff. On the surface, Ludendorff looks like nothing more than a forgotten farming community, but beneath the snow lies something much darker. A town built on secrets, a town tied to crime, conspiracy, and perhaps even shadows of history left buried. This is the dark history of North Yankton. Ludendorff was established in 1947 and still retains some of its original buildings. Little else is known about the town's history other than it being home to the Midwest's biggest beaver. While the town itself is fictional, players have long debated where North Yankton is supposed to be located in the real world. Most theories place it in the Dakotas. There's even a Yankton County in South Dakota, nicknamed the Mother City of Dakotas, which could explain the name. In addition, the in-game license plate closely resembles those used in South Dakota in the early 2000s. Across the road from the town's welcome sign and next to a farm consisting of a barn and a silo, there is a cash storage facility situated east of Ludendorff. This depot is owned by Bobcat Security. They primarily offer secure transport services for valuable goods, but also offer home security in the form of armed response and alarm systems. The company operates a fleet of stockades seen only during prologue. Bobcat Security appears to be partnered with the Bank of Liberty, as evidenced by the side of their vehicles, which also most likely is their biggest customer. The company has at least 2 security depots, the Bobcat Security Depot in North Yankton, and as of 2025, a facility in the Bilgeco Maintenance Warehouse in the terminal of Los Santos. The only known workers at the company are Jaspers and Alex, but both were killed during the prologue.
Give it up! I got him! I saw your face, I'll remember you.
You forget 1,000 things every day. How about you make sure this is one of them? You didn't have to do that!
The facility consists of 3 floors, a vault storing all the cash, locker rooms and a reception to withdraw cash. By 2002, everyone had to show personal ID in order to withdraw. This of course increased the security at the depot. What's different about the North Yankton facility is that they actually allow visitors, which is unusual for a cash depot. Other than that, most of the building consists of security cameras and posters of Vice City actresses. Outside there's a big cargo space where all the vehicles come to pick up and transport the money. Following the road west to Ludendorff, you will mostly see frozen farmland, a small barn and a bridge. Beneath the bridge there is a frozen river that connects to the town's sewer system. It's questionable if the sewer system even works, as it's just completely frozen. Either way, the residents surely have another source of water. Interestingly, in the ice a frozen alien can be found. The alien's blue frozen form and the way it is positioned, either dragged down or reaching towards the surface, suggests it's a reference to the 2004 movie Alien vs Predator, where the xenomorph queen meets a similar fate. Following the road you will encounter the Ludendorff beaver. The beaver has been North Yankton's official mascot since 1947 and is known as the Midwest's biggest beaver. Beavers are widely recognized as industrial animals. Their tireless efforts in constructing dams and lodges reflect a strong work ethic and commitment to building a stable community. This persistence symbolizes the resilience and perseverance of the Ludendorff community. The North Yankton beaver serves as part of the region's identity. The statue was erected in 1987, having taken 4 months to build, according to the information board right beneath. The statue is 10 meters tall, displaying the welcome sign for the town. It also appears on the town's Life Invader page, representing what the town stands for. Despite it snowing a lot, it seems like North Yankton heavily relies on its farmland. North of the beaver, a small farm is located, which is the same farm where Brad got killed in the prologue.
Where the f***'s the chopper? Fuck. Check around back. Ah!
The farm seems to be owned by just a normal family, though it's suggested that either the husband at the farm worked at the North Yankton State Patrol or that they just had good connections to the feds. Despite this farm being owned by one family, they have a lot of land for their business. Close to the farm is a very dangerous railway crossing, as seen in the prologue. The railway begins at the east point of North Yankton, goes through the cemetery, and mostly continues through the Midwest. The Ludendorff Cemetery is located on the north side of the town. This is the only church in the entire town that we know of. The church reflects the town's background, and it's most likely that Ludendorff has a Christian background. The church is open 9:30 AM to 6:30 PM on Sundays, and Tuesday to Friday 9 AM to 6:30 PM. A strange note on the billboard says that there is a missing cat in the cemetery, possibly named Growler. There is also a phone call number underneath. At the graveyard, every resident that once lived in the town is buried, including the grave of Michael Townley.
As if I didn't know.
Most of the gravestones either say erected or have a cross on them, but 3 graves stands out in particular. They all share the last name, Davidson. When I searched it up, I found nothing, no forum, no person, and nothing in the game files that would hint at what this could mean. My theory is that this is either an inside joke from the developers, someone who was close to the people working at Rockstar Games, or either just a filler name to make the town more realistic. Comment what you think down below. On the other side of the railway, right in front of the cemetery, is a warehouse and a freight depot owned by the Ludendorff Shipping Company. The shipping company is directly connected to Ludendorff's export. It serves as the middleman between the town's businesses and the other towns in the Midwest that Ludendorff trades with. It's likely that the warehouse in front of the shipping company is linked to the town's export and serves as extra storage. Next to the warehouse at the corner of Cavalry Boulevard, a lumber supply company is located, going under the name of Ludendorff Wood Supplies. Despite North Yankton being a region with a lot of trees, it seems like a big portion of them has been cut down by the wood supply company. By doing this, they would generate a lot of money and give more job opportunities for the resident. Also on the other side of the street is a similar warehouse which may be linked to the business. The town's main street is Cavalry Boulevard, and the street begins at the cash depot at the Ludendorff sign and goes through the entire town of Ludendorff and further west. Cavalry Boulevard is a popular stop for tourists and visitors that travel by Ludendorff. A cafe is located just across the wood supplies and appears to be open 24/7 even during nighttime. This is because of the travelers stopping in the town to rest and eat, trying to capitalize from its location. A mechanic appears across the street and what seems to be a video store right next to it. Despite the location of North Yankton's airport still being unknown, Kypra Airways actually has a customer service available in Ludendorff. Kypra Airways has a major presence in the Los Santos airport, having in the airport a fleet that consists of multiple uncontrollable twin jets and controllable jets. Not much is known about the airways, other than them seemingly having flights that land at North Yankton. The Pollock Cinema in Ludendorff is nearly identical to the real Fargo Theater in North Dakota, suggesting Rockstar pulled inspiration from multiple places. In the cinema, movies like Capolavoro can be seen, a movie that might be locally produced and a classic in Ludendorff. It also may be a parody of The English Patient, as Capolavoro means masterpiece in Italian. And the tagline, reissued, remastered and resubtitled, is Rockstar's way of mocking how prestige films endlessly gets re-released and repackaged as a masterpiece. Whose Placenta seems to be a parody of the movie Whose Child Is This? And Water Torture appears to be a clear reference to the Saw film, which uses Roman numerals for the sequels and center around torture devices. The tagline, The Bath is Running, Are You? Is a satirical take on the horrifying tagline of those films. A locksmith and a pawn store is located next to the cinema and also a pharmacy. But even more interesting is a Banner Hotel, which, if you didn't already know, is a company that is part of Devin Weston's holdings. As a luxurious hotel chain, it is actually rated 1.5 stars. The chain is likely based on Omni Hotels and Resorts, given their similar logos, fonts and their ownership by holding companies. Other than that, the town is mostly filled with buildings of apartments where the resident lives and rent out for visitors. Ludendorff has 3 churches, 3 liquor stores, 3 ammunitions, and the best fish boiled in lye in all of North Yankton, according to their Life Invader page. Despite Ludendorff having plenty of businesses, the town appears to suffer from a declining population. But why? It seems like no one wants to live in these harsh working conditions. The streets are empty, with only a few cars driving by every day. The town's survival relies heavily on their export through the Ludendorff Shipping Company. Because of the lack of workforce, the residents of the town have to work long-hour shifts to keep the town alive, which is why some stores are open 24/7. The town also heavily depends on the cash depot that gives the resident better work conditions and better opportunities for higher wages. As the farmland is mostly frozen, the farmers have a hard time feeding their animals, keeping them alive, which is also why so much of the farmland is empty and completely wasted, because the climate is too cold. All this combined results in a declining population of people leaving the town and finding work elsewhere. The primary law enforcement agency of Ludendorff is the North Yankton State Patrol. It appears briefly during the prologue, where its officers and vehicles are encountered during the heist. As the name implies, the agency is responsible for maintaining law enforcement across North Yankton. Not much is officially known about the department other than the fact that they received Trooper of the Year award in 1951. They appear to be heavily inspired by the North Dakota Highway Patrol, both in design and function. During the prologue, the troopers respond aggressively, using tactics similar to LSPD, but armed with heavier weaponry closer to the news. They pursue suspects in vehicle, open fire during chases, and set up roadblocks consisting of patrol cars and armed officers. Their equipment includes the police road cruiser and the police rancher. Despite their active presence in the town, no visible headquarters or outpost appears close to it. The name Ludendorff may come from Erich Ludendorff, a German general from World War I. At first he was seen as a hero, but later became known for darker things. In 1923 he joined Adolf Hitler in the failed Beer Hall Putsch, a plan to take over the German government. After that, Ludendorff spread extremist ideas. These ideas were later used by the Nazis. The town of Ludendorff in North Yankton was founded in 1945, the same year that Nazi Germany was defeated. This is not just a coincidence. It may be that German settlers or even people connected to Germany after the war named the town on purpose. Ludendorff could have been a quiet place where some immigrants from Europe came after World War II. Maybe they wanted to keep part of their culture alive, or even honor someone like Erich Ludendorff without thinking about his dark history. The town's German-sounding businesses, its hidden past, and its isolated location all make this sound possible. If this is true, then Ludendorff, North Yankton, is not just a small snowy town. It could also be a reminder of a darker past that is hidden beneath the surface. Ludendorff may be forgotten by most, yet the town hides secrets and questions that we will probably never be able to answer. South of Los Santos on the Colombian coast lies the island known as Cayo Perico, an island owned by none other than El Rubio. The island is based on Cayo Norman, a small Bahamian island used by the Medellin cartel as a transshipment base for smuggling drugs into the United States and as a private party island. But long before El Rubio's takeover, traces of an older history remain. A primitive shelter, collapsed obelisks, and even a conquistador armor suggests that the island has been occupied and forgotten many times over. These relics are now overshadowed by cartel violence, leaving Cayo Perico as both a crime fortress and a graveyard of civilizations past. The island's most famous beach is the West Beach, a beautiful beach with clear water, palm trees, and a beach club. Fences are surrounding the beach, and El Rubio's private security is guarding the area and the gate into it. The Cayo Perico Beach Party, also referred to as the Kinda Music Beach Party, is a famous event happening on the Cayo Perico Island, where people from all across the world come to party. There is a DJ booth and an interactive bar where people can get free drinks and snacks. As night approaches, the party will end and the people will have to go home. The party and the musical guests are a reference to the infamous Fire Festival, a fraudulent attempt to host a luxury music festival in Norman's Cay that ended in disaster. Outside of the beautiful beach and club, a sculpture of the Loch Ness Monster made of sand can be found behind the bar. There is also a wreck of a IAA buzzard on the top of the cliff between West Beach and the main dock, and next to it on the same cliff top there is a skeleton on the rock promontory just north of West Beach. This was previously a guest at the party who didn't listen, leading to his own demise. The Cayo Perico Island also has a large airstrip that consists of one large runway and a hangar large enough for one plane that is used by El Rubio's employees for drug shipment distribution. In the hangar, everything from oil to drugs is stored. The airstrip also has a control tower that controls all the planes the land at Cayo Perico. It's also the center of the island's air defenses. Right next to the airstrip, there are some small businesses trying to profit from Cayo Perico's tourism, including a bar where tourists and people working at the island can relax, drink something, and talk about women.
Una mujer no debería usar pantalones, solo vestidos.
Tienes razón.
A building that appears to be a motel seems to be for the temporary workers at the island, and right next to it there's a small shed stashed with weed. The welcome sign at the airstrip seems to be based on Hacienda Nápoles, a luxurious estate owned by the Medellin cartel and their leader Pablo Escobar. West of the airstrip, there is a power station with solar panels providing electricity to the airstrip. It can be used at night to disable cameras and lights to reduce the security sight range. Other than that, there are mostly just trees and abandoned containers. There are some small points of interest, like the fishing jetty, a small abandoned bridge situated northwest of the island, where a beached whale corpse will sometimes appear if you're lucky, along with some graves without names. It seems like the island has suffered from some sort of civil war before the events of GTA Online, as most of the cars and buildings have been burnt down, most windows are broken, and a lot of containers and building projects were abandoned. It is most likely that El Rubio scared away all of the residents and then decided to conquer the island, or that workers just weren't happy with the working conditions. This northern devastation might be a reference to Norman's case, impact from the Medellin cartel in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Norman's Cay was turned from a tropical paradise into a smuggling hub. Locals were forced out, their homes and businesses were abandoned, while airstrips and warehouses were constructed for cartel use. The broken buildings and burnt out vehicles in Cayo Perico's north could symbolize a similar fate. An island where normal life once existed, but which was erased when El Rubio took over. The unmarked graves found on the northern shore also tie into this darker past. These could belong to workers who either died in poor conditions, cartel victims buried in secret, or even locals who resisted El Rubio's takeover. The absence of names reflects how the cartel erases history, no identities and no accountability. The northern dock lies on the northern shore of Cayo Perico, not far from the burnt out homes and unmarked graves. Unlike the West Beach, which hides its corruption beneath music and luxury, the North Dock wears its purpose openly. It is a cartel seaport built only for efficiency and control. This is one of two docks that El Rubio uses for his drug distribution. The dock is being watched over by a guard tower, preventing tourists from sneaking in. In the northern dock, there are mostly warehouses filled with weed that the cartel exports. A few people do actually work at the dock, suggesting that there is still some sort of life on the island. The North Dock might once have been the main lifeline for the island's original residents, like fishermen, traders, and settlers who relied on these waters for survival. When El Rubio took over, the dock was converted into a smuggling hub. The old trade of fish and salt was replaced by cocaine and weed. Between the north and the south part of the island, there's a highly secured gate packed with security. This gate separates El Rubio's compound and crop fields from the rest of the island. With security there 24/7, El Rubio can prevent any potential intruders from going into his compound and the main dock. The shape of the island appears to be based on canoeing, but mirrored and rotated. The main dock is the island's main source for exporting the drugs, with one big canal connecting two docks to each other. The primary dock seems to be still under construction, as containers and building material is seen everywhere. This dock also has a lot of cranes, suggesting that there is a lot of movement. This serves as the primary dock for the island's heavy import. Based on the lack of security and stash houses, it's most likely that this dock exports other things than just drugs. A lot of civilian movement is going on in this area, and most of it consists of warehouses used to store the building material. The other side of the dock, however, is mostly finished. This is where the main manufacturing of coke happens. Stash houses of weed, coke production, and the massive factory producing drugs for the entire island. Compared to the other dock, the security is much more tight. and watchtowers surround this area. Southwest of the main dock is the employees' living quarter. Here is a cottage and 2 barracks, big enough to fit most of the staff working at the dock. Right next to the barrack is a water tower, supplying the barracks with water, and also a helicopter pad that El Rubio uses. The southeast of the island mostly consists of agriculture, with the primary plant being the marijuana plant. This serves as the business' main supply of production. Despite the cartel's main income coming from marijuana, a big portion of the plants also seem to be coke. The cartel grows and cooks the powder here in small sheds near the crop fields. Other than that, this area mostly consists of small stash houses with cash, watchtowers and air defenses to prevent any incoming planes from landing. A cutting powder box can be found at the eastern storage area at the fields. Perico is also a slang for cocaine in Mexico, referencing the fact that the island has a cocaine farm. On a hill between El Rubio's compound and the crop fields is a huge communication tower. This is the highest point of the island. From here you can almost see everything: the compound, the beaches and the docks. The tower is just not for looking around. It is a very important point, as hacking into it leads to access to every server and communication on the entire island, such as cameras and phone calls. Next to the tower there is also a strange torture cage that most likely have been used by El Rubio to punish his employees. South of the communication tower and the crop fields, on one of the southest points of the island, is a lighthouse, along with a small shed. The lighthouse seems to have been served as a watchtower over the Caribbean Sea, but is most likely abandoned, suggested that the trash that is near the lighthouse and all the windows being completely broken. Something particularly interesting is that among the trash there is actually an old newspaper about Johnny Klebitz saying loves relations with tax. Whatever it means is unclear, but it's cool to see how Rockstar keeps putting these Easter eggs in the game. Near the lighthouse lies a small campsite, marked by a lonely campfire and scattered supplies. The lack of barracks by the lighthouse suggests that it was more of a temporary post. The campsite could originally have been used by fishermen or locals who lived on the island long before El Rubio's takeover. El Rubio's compound serves as the main base of operation. The mansion is surrounded by high walls with iron spikes on top. The outer main gate is reinforced and requires high-density demolition explosives to destroy, while the inner gate is opened from the inside. The whole place is full of cameras and guards. There are watchtowers, checkpoints, and even anti-aircraft weapons. El Rubio's personal helicopter, a Valkyrie gunship, waits on the helipad near the compound. Guarding the mansion is his panther, a creature as fierce as the man himself. Legends say that those caught stealing were either shot on sight or fed alive to the beast. Their remains scattered across the island as a warning. Pavel himself admits that while some have robbed El Rubio successfully, none lived long enough to enjoy their victory.
You see? This is a lesson to us all, I think. If our friend had known the Russian proverb, he would not be cat food now, yes?
The compound has a drainage tunnel which people can access outside from the sea, and multiple vaults storing his precious goods. The compound appears to have taken inspiration from the real-life Hacienda Nápoles. However, the shape of the pool is different in real life, and the small hut is located outside of the compound in-game. There are gardens, fountains, and guest houses. Under the mansion there is a secret vault. This is where El Rubio keeps gold, cash, and other treasures. There are also wine cellars and a bunch of tunnels in the basement that we have absolutely no idea where it could lead. Old cannons, anchors and bells can be found in the basement that might have been left from the days before El Rubio took over. On the top floor of the mansion is his office. Here you can find the golden Perico pistol locked in his desk. The office also has strange decorations, family photos, stock pictures from Red Dead Redemption 2, and even a photo of Simeon. The surrounding waters also conceal other secrets, like a wreck of a narco sub and even a massive meteorite that crashed into the ocean. Cayo Perico is more than just a party island or a backdrop for a heist. It is a place built on layers of history, from ancient relics and forgotten settlers to cartel rule and endless violence. What could have been a paradise has instead become a prison of wealth and fear, where brutality and silence hides the screams of the past. Every corner of the island tells a story, the broken homes in the north, the drowned wrecks beneath its waters, the watchtowers that see everything but protect nothing. It's clear that El Rubio conquered the island for his own gain, and that his drug business is the only life left. North of Los Santos, near the Alamo Sea, lies the town we know as Sandy Shores, a strange place mixed with rednecks, crackheads and criminal enterprises. This is the strange case of Sandy Shores. East Joshua Road is the road connecting the highway and Grapeseed to Sandy Shores. Once arriving at the town, the first thing you will come across is the Marina Drive. The street goes by Trevor's trailer on the outer line of the town and further west. At some point in time, Sandy Shores had a population of 3,010, as seen on a welcome sign. Sandy's gas station is the local gas station operating in Sandy Shores and Blaine County. It appears to be both affiliated with Zero Gas and Ron Oil. According to Ron Yakovsky, the gas station is owned and occasionally operated by Trevor Phillips Enterprise. It is based on the real-life Lorenzo's gas station in Desert Shores, California. Behind the gas station is the home of the most notorious criminal in San Andreas. I'm talking about Trevor Phillips.
Well, you! I'm gonna put you in the f***ing ground, you laugh at me again!
Located on the barrel lot at Sancudo Avenue, this trailer serves as Trevor Phillips' primary residence. The trailer's state actually changes throughout the story. First trashed by the Lost MC after Johnny Klebett's death, later cleaned by Patricia Madrazo during her stay, and eventually returning to its filthy condition. The trailer also features UK-style electrical fittings and a garage that can store 2 vehicles. 140 Sancudo Avenue is a safe house located on Sancudo Avenue. It is available for purchase through Dynasty 8 Real Estate for $121,000 and includes a 2-car garage. Strange enough, this is the only purchasable property in Sandy Shores, which is weird for such a big town. Behind this trailer is a liquor store, which the residents of the town can go to for a drink. On Alhambra Drive there is a 24/7, and right beside the 24/7 is a O'Shea's Barbershop, a possible nod to Ice Cube's barbershop movies, as its first name is O'Shea. The barbershop shares the same building as Otto's Auto Parts. Alhambra Drive appears to be based on the real-life Scott Drive in Desert Shores. Even more interesting is a Chinese restaurant, which is open 24/7. The restaurant appears to sell duck rolls and goes by the slogan, "You won't want to share our noodles." The Sandy Shores Sheriff Station is located on Alhambra Drive, sharing the same building as the Sandy Shores Medical Center. It serves as one of 2 Los Santos County Sheriff's Department branches in Blaine County. Outside, an American flag and a sheriff flag can be seen. If the player is busted in southeastern Blaine County, they will respawn here. In GTA Online, the interior becomes accessible during certain missions, like business battles, where players can hack police computers to locate goods. 7184 Shola Springs Avenue is located on the north side of Shola Springs Avenue. Unlike many homes in Sandy Shores, the house is well maintained, with an intact white picket fence at the front and around the garden on the west side. The owners of the home are seemingly Polly Patterson and Brandon Patterson, as implied by windowsills. The house is a replica of the 2155th First Street in Bombay Beach, California. Compared to many other towns, Sandy Shores do actually have some known residents. As we all probably already know, Ron Yakovsky lives here and is Trevor's neighbor. Other characters like Cletus, Wallace, Melvin, and even Cletus' sister live here.
Not that dish. That's my sister's place.
While Sandy Shores may look like a fictional desert town in Blaine County, its design is heavily inspired by the real-life Salton Sea region of California, particularly the communities around Bombay Beach and Desert Shores. In the 1950s and 1960s, the Salton Sea was a thriving resort destination, attracting tourists, celebrities, and boating enthusiasts. However, the lake was accidentally created in 1905 when a canal from the Colorado River overflowed, flooding the Salton Basin for 2 years. Because it had no natural outlet, trapped water gradually became saltier than seawater. This killed all the fish, driving away visitors and leaving the area abandoned. Today, the Salton Sea is California's most polluted inland lake, and its surrounding towns are ghostly remains of their former glory. Rockstar Games mirror this decay in Sandy Shores, turning what once was a bustling lakeside to a symbol of economic collapse, pollution, and forgotten dreams. Just like the Salton Sea, the Alamo Sea stands as a warning. A man-made lake turned toxic through neglect. Save the Sands graffiti seen around sandy shores mirrors the real-life Save the Salton Sea movement, where residents have petitioned for decades to restore the dying lake. Further west of the town, on the corner of Algonquin Boulevard and Panora Drive, lies the derelict motel, a once bustling roadside stop that has long fallen into ruin. The large L-shaped structure is made up of 4 double-story blocks wrapped around a cracked courtyard, where the remains of a swimming pool and a tennis court still stand. The old office building sits at the front, beneath a faded sign. Today, the motel is completely abandoned. Before the events of GTA 5, the place was used by the Lost MC, and later by the Ballast for criminal operations. By the time Trevor arrives in Sandy Shores, the building stands empty, though it's still in use in the mission target practice. The motel is based on the real-life North Shore Motel, which was demolished years before GTA 5 takes place, leaving behind only the memory of what once was, much like the town of Sandy Shores itself. At the end of Algonquin Boulevard stands Liquor Ace, one of the most recognizable landmarks in Sandy Shores. Once just a small run-down liquor store, it eventually became infamous as the headquarters of Trevor Phillips Enterprises. The building itself is covered in faded signs advertising cheap beer and snacks. Inside, the store works as both a local convenience stop and a front for Trevor's meth operation. The upstairs area was converted into a meth lab, run by Trevor Phillips and his associate chef, who seemingly lives there. From here, all the production and distribution across Blaine County happens, making Liquor Ace the beating heart of Trevor's criminal empire. Its name, Liquor Ace, is a cheeky play on words, typical of Rockstar's humor, as it can be read as Liquor Ass. In the desert, the Beam Me Up artwork can be found. It is inhabited by hippie alien enthusiasts, which is not that surprising to be honest, as Sandy Shores UFO spawns directly above this location. The site consists of a couple of tents and a large trailer. There are a few vehicle wrecks in the area, including a beat-dead Regina on blocks with a fake UFO model on the roof. There is a cement mixer and paint cans throughout the site, indicating that the occupants are constantly repainting the works to counteract the harsh desert elements, just like the real-life site. The location is inspired by Salvation Mountain in California, but replaces religious appeals with aliens. The name references Star Trek and a commonly misquoted phrase, "Beam me up, Scotty," which James T. Kirk supposedly says when asking to be transported back to the Starship Enterprise. Sandy Shores isn't just a dusty desert town, it's a symbol of decay, survival, and forgotten dreams. Once full of life, it now stands abandoned, shaped by crime, chaos, and time itself. Like the real Salton Sea, its beauty lies in its ruin, a reminder of how quickly paradise can fall apart. Despite it falling apart, Sandy Shores stays strong, refusing to be erased from history.
Tis the season for it. I don't give a shit about no season.
Oh, good, huh? Don't let the regulations get you down.
That's what I'm saying.